racist against Haitians?
On a scale from 0 to 10, how loyal do you think Dominicans men are?
0.
What?
They're trash.
They could be using you for paper, sweetie.
We join the Dominican community in the United States to celebrate their culture, pride, and the vibrant spirit. We are Wakanze. What are the stereotypes about Dominican Republic that has to stop?
That we're racist against Haitians. We're not racist against Haitians. That doesn't sum us all up in the same.
The stereotype about how bad the men are. A lot of people make the Dominican men seem like unloyal and stuff like that, but I feel like we're great people and we, are great when it comes to being able to build a family. I feel like that's a stereotype that has to go.
That they think they're not black. That they think they're not black and they're the same color as black people, nigga, Haitian, African, no matter what, and they swear they're not black. They're like, yo no soy negro, yeah you are. Don't lie.
On a scale from 0 to 10, how loyal do you think Dominicans men are?
0.
Why?
They're trash. It's like every other man, honestly.
3.
Wait a minute.
There's good ones, but there's a lot of bad ones.
Dominican women, I feel like a 4. Dominican women are not that loyal.
Why do you choose that answer?
Majority of them cheat, and yeah, that's just what it is for real.
I've met a lot of Dominican fathers who have 100 kids with different peoples. Case scenarios, they have a lot of baby mamas. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Ay, porque hay algunas dominicanas que son un bobo, en verdad. Entonces, del 0 a 10, la verdad, yo sé que me van a quemar, pero yo podría decir que un 8, en verdad.
¿Por qué?
Que la verdad hay algunas dominicanas que son demasiado desacatadas, ¿me entiendes? Que ellas no se dejan llevar de nadie. Ellas no escuchan ni que vaina. Ellos hacen lo que ellos quieran. ¿Tú me entiendes? Pero hay algunas que sí, no todas, ¿me entiendes? Hay algunas que se dejan llevar, hay otras que sí, pero hay algunas que no escuchan para nada, ¿me entiendes? Que a lo que ellos van es a eso que ellos van. ¿Tú me entiendes lo que te digo?
Which country do you think is the most similar to Dominican Republic in terms of culture, people, or vibes?
Puerto Rico, a little bit of Cuban.
I like to think that Venezuelans and Cubans are pretty similar to Dominicans, but other than that, at the end of the day, anyone in the Caribbean relates to a Dominican.
Puerto Rico, yo podría decir. Yo podría poner Puerto Rico. Es uno de los típicos, se parece un poquito a República Dominicana. Que tiene casi mente un poquito la cultura igual que la República Dominicana.
I don't know a lot of Cubans, but I feel like I've heard some things like the way their music is, the same thing with like Puerto Ricans in terms of like their style of cooking and stuff. I feel like we have some similarities there.
I feel like culturally, the U.S. is very good because of the mix of cultures, the same way how DR likes to mix a couple different things, and how they celebrate.
Why do you choose the US instead of a bordering country such as Haiti?
Honestly, because I feel like the culture in Haiti is very different than how we are in the DR, and the U.S. at least gives more opportunity to express your culture like that, where it's instead of, comparing different cultures, we mostly come together as a community.
Bueno, es que Haití tiene otro tipo de cultura, ¿me entiendes? La cultura que tiene Haití no es el mismo que la República Dominicana. Entonces la de Puerto Rico es casi similar al de República Dominicana. Y fue por eso que yo elegí Puerto Rico, porque es el único que yo veo que se parece a República Dominicana, que tiene casi como el mismo saoco, como dicen los dominicanos.
How are you racially classified in Dominican Republic in comparison with the United States?
Honestly, in Dominican Republic, they just would classify me racially as, a Dominican, a Hispanic. And in the U.S., it's a little bit different because I'm on the lighter side. So, people normally classify me as just an American or like sometimes barely Dominican, but not really like as much as a Latino as you do in, the homeland.
I think they just call me a little morenita, I guess, because I'm a little caramel. But other than that, they don't really be on that vibe.
I feel like growing up, I definitely had that thing where it's just like, I'm either too Hispanic or I'm not Hispanic enough, which is annoying. Like middle school or whatever, they would the two Hispanics they would call Hicks. My thing, that word does bother me a bit because it's just like you're giving me a name for being too Hispanic when I'm Dominican, I'm Hispanic, I grew up in a Hispanic family type of thing. Dominican, maybe my Spanish isn't as good over there, and then it's just like, oh, like you're not as Spanish, you're not as Dominican, and there's just always like a internal battle, like with both parts. Like it's like you're never enough with either one, like no one's ever satisfied, which is annoying.
So for me, when I go to Dominican Republic, I am an American. I'm not Dominican as you would think I am. I'm a gringa. And you can see it from a mile away. The truth is, people look at me and the first thing that they see is black. So I'm black, and that's okay. Until I come to something like today and I can express that I am a Dominican.
Bueno, moreno, esa es la única palabra que me entienden, como un moreno en República Dominicana, eso es lo único que yo sé.
Do Dominican Republic feel a strong connection with any African country?
Yeah, I feel like we do. There's a lot of similar, like especially with our food.
A lot of us have been ignorant with accepting the black culture. Me, for one, growing up, unfortunately I was kind of in that like mindset because every time someone would be like, oh, are you black? I feel like some Dominicans, they would come, or like Hispanics, they would be like, no, like insulted, like no, obviously not, like I'm Spanish, I'm Dominican, I'm this, I'm that. In reality, like look at us, like look at our color, we're all the same, obviously.
Absolutely we do. Our roots are tied into Africa.
Which African country do you feel related the most?
For me, it's Nigeria. I am Nigerian. I have Nigerian in my blood.
A lo que yo sé, yo no sé si a República Dominicana tiene alguna conexión con Sudáfrica. A lo que yo sé. La verdad no te podría decir sí o no si tienen alguna conexión, porque la República Dominicana, como ellos les gustan hacer su cosa como aparte, ¿me entiendes? Solamente ellos, es así que ellos funcionan, pero no sabría decirte si tienen alguna conexión con África o no.
¿Los dominicanos consideran a los haitianos latinos?
La verdad, bueno, yo pienso que debería ser así, porque Haití está en una parte de Sudamérica y yo pienso que debería ser así, pero hay algunos que no lo aceptan así, pero hay algunos que sí. Entonces yo no por eso. A mí, yo lo considero los dos igual, en verdad. Que dos son latinos. No son latinos porque no tienen el mismo idioma, pero yo podría decir que Haití hace parte de Sudamérica. Eso es lo único que puedo decir, pero no podría decir que latino, porque los latinos son la gente que habla en español. Eso es lo que yo pienso, a mi pensar. Pero Haití hace parte de Sudamérica, yo podría decir.
What are the red or green flag about to dating Dominican women?
Okay, I would say they know how to, cook, they know how to clean, they know how to, be supportive of the man. A red flag, I will say, a lot of them like to argue. Most of them are like very, very loud, but like not in a good loud, like, and yeah, they love starting problems.
Green flag makes times for you. It's on the ready and on the go for you, like on the fly. Like you say, I'm going this, I'm doing that, or we're going here, we're going there, and he's like, let's do it. Red flag, answers the phone, can't answer calls truthfully.
De que tan buena. Mira, eso no se lo saca a nadie, en verdad. Las dominicanas, mira, son otro nivel, en verdad. Delante de la mujer haitiana, las dominicanas son otro nivel. Las mujeres, mira, eso no se lo saca a nadie. Esa es la parte buena que yo no se lo quito a ella, de verdad. Pero la parte mala, la verdad, no sabría decirte. Bueno, que son a veces, ¿me entiendes? Son desacatadas. Eso es la parte mala que yo podía decir de ella, que son desacatadas, que hacen lo que ellos quieren y vaina. Esa es la parte que yo podía decir de ella.
I would say a green flag would be they're very much involved fathers, for sure. I don't know a Dominican that's not a father. Red flag, they just swear. They swear.
With the green flag, I feel like Dominicans are just like natural flirts. I feel like they can be very attentive, enseñándote mucho, tú sabes, cariño. Like, I feel like in terms of that, a red flag, I feel like that goes back to the whole thing where just like, some of them are just out here unfaithful and having 1,000,001 kids. I don't know about that. Like, if a red flag, I'm out here in the Dominican Republic and then a guy's interested in me, I feel like you have to keep in mind they could be using you for papers. They could be using you for papers, sweetie. Like, you never know. A lot of the times it's that case scenario.
Los dominicanos aquí prefieren entre el dembow y el reggaetón?
Bueno, los dominicanos van a preferir el dembow, ¿verdad? El dembow. A ellos les van a preferir el dembow. Porque tú sabes que en cualquier lugar donde ellos lleguen, el dembow es lo más que te desacata de una vez. El dembow ellos van a preferir. De una. No creo que... Bueno, hay algunos lugares, hay alguna gente que van a preferir el reggaetón, pero hay alguna gente que van a preferir el dembow, pero... mira, el 98% van a elegir el dembow.
I feel like I have like a shared love for both of them. I don't know. I'm split for that one. Yeah, I would go 50-50.
Reggaeton.
Why?
Dembow is very repetitive. It's a mixture of like a piggyback. Pero reggaeton has always been like so core for me.
Yes, trabalha só.